addressing the elephant in the room.
You've probably been wondering where we've been.
Our loyal fans.
To be honest, it's been a really hard week. JoJo did go forward with leaving the podcast.
Yeah.
So
Again,
just getting
we've
that
been
right
zaned
out
again.
of the way. It was really unfortunate. It wasn't really amicable whatsoever. She did like break the windows in our apartment on her way out, just out of pure rage and hatred for us, which was really sad because I thought we were ending on really good terms, you know, but
Well, I live with her, guys.
yeah.
I mean,
that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
I came home that night and the couch cushions were slashed. She was mad.
The best couch ever.
The best couch ever was slashed.
So
it's just really sad the way everything kind of panned out, and we just wanted you guys to hear it from us first. She's probably going to go on like a slander campaign of us, and I just wanted you to know that none of it is true.
Yeah, and like don't ask her about it because it'll just bring up like bad memories and cause her to rage again. So
yeah,
like we replaced her. I can't afford more windows. Like please, like don't bring it up to her. Like I'm in debt. I'm in the red for buying new windows.
Right.
I've had to take up full-time security just to keep her out of the building.
There's Lloyd.
Yeah. He's in a car outside at all times surveilling the building. Like, I'm just so scared of her and what she's going to do next. So
So
just do the window.
so everyone keep us in your prayers, and
Yeah.
Joe, we love and miss you, but
we know you don't feel the same.
Yeah.
I know you hate us. So, and that's fine. I couldn't love you more. I respect you actually for hating us so much. That's also my new bit.
Yes.
When someone like very obviously hates us, I'm like, I couldn't respect them more. Like respect where respect is due. Like hate me. You deserve to hate me. I love you. You're my best friend. And that's our message to Joe. If you're out there, if you're listening, if you're hearing this,
we love you.
come home.
Spooky.
I know you're not going to based on the way you left and the things you said, which I don't even feel comfortable repeating on the internet.
Yeah, they were awful.
So I guess let's get into the episode.
So anyways,
Roll the clip. We've done a rebrand.
Rebranded a little
we
bit.
have rebranded.
This is kind of like season 2 of the podcast. Anytime we do a rebrand, it's like a new season of the podcast.
Yeah,
I
You know, I'd say we're in our season 2 era.
We're in our season 2 era, and
We have a new cast, you know, a key
Yeah.
cast member left.
and we have new costumes, and the budget is higher, and we got hotter.
We are in
So-
the red.
From all those windows.
And Halloween's right around the corner.
We did get hotter though.
We did get hotter. Maybe we'll get new mics in season 2.
Maybe that's a season 3.
Maybe season 3.
Ambitious. Season 3 is ambitious.
We'll do some Black Friday shopping around for mics.
Ooh, good idea.
You think Guitar Center is gonna have a 6 sale?
If anyone knows if Guitar Center does a Black Friday sale, let us know.
Hey, Ruben from Guitar Center.
Oh my god, the original panty dropper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, well, should we go right into Penny Dropper? If we're
mentioning
gonna,
Ruben, the man who invented panty dropping.
yeah.
Roll the clip.
So, Meghan sent a TikTok to us of this guy who looks like Steve Brady from Sex and the City, of course. Miranda.
Those were all the comments on it, by the way. It was like,
Yes,
please say Miranda,
they were
just say Miranda.
saying Miranda. Yeah. And like, I mean, for those of you who listen to us, there's no way you wouldn't know, but Steve Brady's gonna drop our panties every single day of the week.
We are Steve Brady apologists at the end of the day,
Yes.
and I will not be apologizing for that.
Couldn't love him more.
Couldn't love him more.
Couldn't love him more. So this guy is like posting, and he's literally like a 2023 like season 2 Steve
best,
Brady,
yeah.
the best season, when he's just like so youthful and
A
like
bartender, not even an owner of a bar.
he just works there. and he's just
clocking
like,
in.
Giving her Chardonnays.
playing basketball. Oh. So yeah, that really.
Yeah.
I can't drink seltzer in the bottle anymore.
So yeah,
leave that in.
That dropped my panties this week for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a weird, like,
Trippy.
it was very trippy because he looks like him, and the entire TikTok is him basically explaining, like, someone commented that he looked like Steve, and he was just replying.
I've never seen the show. Is that good or bad?
He was responding, and
In a good
everyone
way or
was
a
just
bad way?
like, Miranda.
Say Miranda.
Say Miranda. Oh,
No,
I
but-
just love him.
But also, he's like
He did
normal
go forward
and
with
real.
scaring you.
Oh yeah, his eyebrows like literally almost went up into his hair. Like that
Oh.
Taylor isn't the biggest fan of
rises the
TikTok
panties
Steve
a
Brady,
little bit.
but
I couldn't be more in love with him.
No, but also like I get it where
It's the essence.
yeah, he's like a real, not that Steve Brady isn't real, but like
Well,
this
he's
is like a
not.
normal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the guy who plays
Oh, yeah,
Steve
yeah,
Brady
yeah.
is real, but like
But he's like old now.
now, yeah.
Mhm.
But the guy Steve Brady lookalike, like he's normal, like
Yeah.
he's attainable.
He is attainable. Does he live in New York?
I don't know. We're gonna
do
have to
not know.
circle back on that.
Yeah.
So he did. I could appreciate him, but when his
Mhm.
eyebrows raised
Do we know his name?
up into his hair, I got a little
concerned.
concerned, a little scared.
Yeah.
Panties rose a little.
Doing a quick.
We're gonna see if I can get the viewers a name.
Yeah. Doing a quick fact check on this guy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we can do our panty riser while we wait.
That's too big of a fish to fry
All
in
right.
between topics. We've
Okay.
got to. That's way too important.
Okay.
This week's panty riser, you're not gonna want to miss it. Ah, there he is.
Okay, his name is Scout. Oh God, I scrolled away.
Okay,
oh my
that's
God,
a
I
little
lost him.
Steve
I lost
Brady.
him.
That's Steve Brady
I
coded.
can't use
It
TikTok on
is.
my desktop.
Scout.
It was Scout and Dill.
Click on his name.
Late?
Scout.
He
SCOUTNDILL. That
He
is the Steve
sings.
Brady lookalike.
Oh my God.
So we will look more into Scout, but we urge
Scout
you.
and Dill.
We urge you to go give him a little love. I mean, we just found out he's a singer. We'll go take a listen.
Yeah.
It's awful. We have to
Oh, it's gonna be
we
so
have to-
bad.
We have to cut the whole
It's gonna
promo
be
part of his.
so bad. Oh my
singing out.
God.
I hope you're good.
Yeah, loving him.
Loving you. Nothing but respect for you.
Wish you were mine.
Yeah.
That should be me.
Yeah.
Holding your hand.
Like, how many times have I said I'm a Miranda?
Mm.
I'm a Miranda through and through. Just looking for my Steve. I guess I'm also my Charlotte looking for my Harry, so never mind. Irrelevant.
You know, we all need to go through our first marriage
You're right.
to get to our Harry.
Yeah. You're right. Anyways.
What's next?
Do you want to do your panty riser?
I mean, we could do.
So, Taylor has gone on a bit. There's like an eyelash in my eye. Like a journey this week. Taylor
Let you take
will
it.
go on dating apps and match with people she doesn't necessarily like, but just match with them to match with them, I think. Because then you'll show me their photos and you're like, I'm not showing you like X, Y, and Z on their profile. I'm like, why? And you're like, because it's bad. I'm
No.
like, then why would you match with someone?
She'll be like, well, in this one photo, if you like kind of zoom out, he looks a little bit okay.
If you hold the phone at a 45-degree angle, you're in the bathroom, I'm holding it in the living room, and you really squint your eyes.
Hey,
He's
everyone
so
told
No.
me I have to be less judgy.
No, you're judging them still. You're
But you're-
judging them even more.
Well, I'm giving them a shot.
Okay, but then Do it with your whole chest. Show us their whole profile.
Yeah.
Don't be like,
and also,
because also if you show it with your whole chest, we'll be way nicer than when you're like, I don't like most of these photos. Then we're gonna be brutally honest. But if you show genuine interest in someone, we won't tear them down as much.
if you show genuine interest in them via messaging and not one-word answers. And
I did not one-word answer this man.
no, I'm not saying that's what you did with this guy in particular, but in general.
Yeah, well, if I lose interest in the
So
conversation.
stop answering! Stop answering them! Stop!
If there's one thing Taylor's gonna do, it's beat a dead horse.
You don't need to keep answering these guys with one
feel
word.
so bad.
Okay, if
Then
you
don't
do,
match with them.
then stop sending me screenshots of it because I can't look at it anymore. It is absolutely ruining me. It's ruining me.
Well, I'm growing.
You are growing, and I'm literally so proud of you, and I couldn't love you more. But like, you can do it. I just can't see it personally.
So
Okay, so
that was all just the prereq too. She was texting some guy that she didn't really love, but whatever. She gave him her number. They're texting, and then I don't really know the
we
rest.
had all
so you have to go
collectively
from there.
agreed that you should go out with him, and he asked you out for Sunday,
So
which
he
is
did.
tomorrow.
Yeah, which I will not be going because he did go ahead and ghost me.
Wonder why.
Oh, when you hear what I had texted
Oh, I'm
him,
so
which led
excited.
to it. So he did ask me out for a walk on Sunday, which I was like, I don't know, like I'm not really like loving our conversation where it was just like a lot of back and forth, but it wasn't like flirty back and forth. It was like, oh, I can
One-word
one up.
answers?
No, it was like I can one up you.
Mm.
And I was just like, I don't love this, but fine. Then he was like, oh, I'm the most sarcastic person you're ever going to meet. So like, he hunned me.
That set her off, by the way.
No,
And-
but that like doesn't align with his other principles of calling himself a goofy goober.
Well, yeah. And then he goes, he said, oh, so you have a mouth on you. I can tell. You're just like a little goofy, but
Oh.
I'm a goober or something like that.
A goofball.
A goofball.
Goofball came first.
Goofball did come first. So he went, oh, I could tell like you have a mouth on you and you're like a little goofy, but I'm a goofball, so it'll work. And I was like, ooh. And then I was like, circling back, you hunned me. Who huns someone else? Hun. Hun? What are we, like 12? Like, not 12. What are
45?
45?
Like the people next door?
Literally, like,
Yes.
in what world do you hun someone that you're like attracted to, want to take out on a date?
No, literally the only person who can hun me is the lady who's looking for a commission in the dressing room at the mall.
Yeah.
I think
She's bringing me jeans and
Maybe my
calling me
grandma.
hun.
Yeah,
That's fine.
If someone
hun.
older, if a waiter or waitress.
Oh,
called-
waitress,
yeah.
yes.
If a waiter called me hun, I'd be like, oh. If a woman called me hun,
Her name's Myrtle. She's
Yeah.
worked at the diner forever, and she gets like,
Mm-hmm.
here you go,
more
hun.
water, hun.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yes, Myrtle.
yes.
Also, can you be my grandma?
Yeah.
Can you adopt me?
Mm-hmm.
I love
So in retaliation, it set me off. So I had broed him, and I went, bro.
See, here's the thing is that's where you should have stopped. If he called you hun and it pissed you off, why did you have to pick a fight with him?
Because I needed the last word.
And she got it.
And I got it. So he broed me, and he went, did you just bro me? And I went, you hunned me first. So
oh my god.
I knew it was never going to work from there because he kept bringing it up, and he was like, I can't, like,
Fighting before you even met.
like the next day was like, I can't believe you called me bro. And I was like, you called me hun first. Like,
oh my god.
I don't know what you were expecting, dude. And so we're going back and forth, and like I kind of would forget to answer, and then I'd answer back like hours later, and we're going back and forth, and then he was like, so why don't you give me your Snapchat? And he went, or Instagram, or like social security number if you want.
No, he never said Instagram. He just said Snapchat or social security number if you want.
Oh,
then you sent the following message.
So then I sent, considering that I stopped using Snapchat once I graduated college and became an adult, don't have that anymore.
That was where he was going to stop answering her.
And then, I went and asked for my social security number. It's ABCDEFU.
And that was where he was going to stop answering her. So arguably, Taylor got the last word, yes, but he also stopped answering her, which I'd say is arguably a little bit more powerful than getting the last word.
And then you double texted him from her phone. Oh my god!
So that was on Thursday night, and then Friday, I was working from home, so me and Taylor were just talking with each other, and I was like, "Oh, did he ever answer?" And Taylor was like, "No, here's our last text messages with each other." And I said, "You said ABCDEFU?" And she went, "Yeah." And I said, "I'm going to text him, hey."
Oh my god.
No answer.
Mm-mm.
It's now Saturday at 5:15 p.m. And that was sent probably around like 3:30 yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Damn.
meant to be.
So
Because he was always
you
like...
did get the last word.
Yeah.
Because then I also wanted to be... Because he kept bringing up like, oh, if you can't handle like what I'm dishing out, like blah, blah, blah. And I went, trust me, I can handle it.
Well,
He couldn't handle it.
I want to circle back to the Snapchat thing, but before that, really want to hammer home here is that the panty riser
Oh, yes.
is because he was saying
He kept
apparently
calling himself
he's
a goober.
no, but I'm
Or a
confused
goofball.
because he's saying he's so sarcastic and like calling you hun, but then saying, "Oh, I'm just such a goober."
Who said goobers can't be sarcastic?
Yeah.
A goofball? Probably.
Who said goofballs can't be sarcastic?
I just think that's like an oxymoron, personally.
Mm-hmm.
But the main panty riser that we're trying to hammer home here is men who call themselves or use the word goober and goofball. Jail.
You are the worst
Immediate.
type of person.
Like my panties
And you
are
are-
inside of me. That's how much
I
they're raised.
Yes.
I don't even really know what goober means,
I'm a goofy goober.
but I'm
rock.
imagining someone that actually is quote unquote a goober wouldn't call themselves that, because that word just sounds disgusting. That sounds like
It's-
something that comes out of a vagina.
Are you saying that vaginas are disgusting?
No, but like the word discharge, that just sounds gross. It sounds like discharge.
So what's a goober?
Should we start calling her
sounds like
discharge goober?
Guys, I'm goobering.
Kind of goobering.
Like when you're at a restaurant and you're like, "Oh my god, guys, I just goobered."
My periods are just goober.
Then I just get my period and we're just goobering.
Yeah, I hate that word.
It's something else.
It's so bad. And I just think that, like, I think goofy is okay in some circumstances.
I'm so goofy.
Yeah, like if you're just like being annoying and just saying like, "Ugh, I'm just so goofy," like that's fine.
I think it's something where someone has to call you goofy, but you can't call yourself goofy.
Yes,
Yeah,
Because
like-
if you're just like, "Oh my," like, you know the meme where it's like, "Oh my god, she's so crazy, I can't take her anywhere." That's like, "I'm so goofy, you can't take me anywhere." you
literally.
know?
And then there's a whole other layer that people who are using it unironically is because this guy was not using it ironically. He was straight up calling himself a goober.
He was like, I'm so silly goofy.
Oh my god.
But he couldn't handle the heat.
Yeah.
Because he kept saying, you're not gonna find someone more sarcastic than me. And I went, false. You are not gonna find anyone more sarcastic than me. And he was like, I beg to differ. And that's what brought up the date. Because I was like, the only way we're gonna figure this out is if we meet. And he was like, yeah, so you're saying the only way we're gonna figure that out is if we go on a date. And I said, name the time and place. And then he said, Sunday morning-ish, let's go for a walk.
It's such an interesting date idea as well.
Especially a first date.
Let's go for a walk. And originally, because he, I guess, didn't look at Taylor's full profile and saw that she put like her hometown as Long Island. And he just assumed that was her current location.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I can come out and visit you and we could take a walk and maybe there can be some food involved at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you think that your first date should be taking the Staten Island ferry to the Long Island Railroad to the town that Taylor lives in to walk around?
God, he's from Staten Island.
And then be like, maybe there could be food involved. Why are you going to Taylor's parents' house?
That's an insane thing
Yeah.
to say.
And then
He must really liked you.
I don't know.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No, but the Snapchat thing is like so valid, and also that's a message I would have cooked up and given you permission to send as well, because I fucking hate that. Like, guys don't really ask me for Snapchat. Maybe I just give off that vibe, but like, if they ever did, I'd lash out one of those for sure.
Like, at this point, I think my age minimum on Hinge is 24, but I'm not really matching with many 24-year-olds. It's like 24 to 28, I think my age range is. You're in the 24 to 28. You're probably 27. Most people I'm matching with, you're 27 asking me for my Snapchat.
My brother could not be a bigger Snapchat user. 27 years old.
Always are.
27 years old. Sending my mom and grandmother Snapchats on the daily.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Your mom and grandma are active
It's
Snapchat
weird.
users?
Yeah. Because
Is it only for him?
Yes.
You
Weird.
won't text them?
No.
Or call them and just
Uh-uh.
Like,
weird.
streaks.
Yeah, well, like, I have my streaks. I do still use Snapchat, but like, I don't want to start a relationship on Snapchat. I'm over that. Like, we're already texting. Why do you need my Snapchat?
Literally.
As someone who did that once, don't do it.
You're so brave.
I am so I'm a Snapchat relationship survivor.
You are a survivor.
I've done it. Don't like it.
Did
it
it?
sucks,
I
'cause the
literally
whole
10 years
time
ago.
You're like, why aren't we texting?
Literally. Or when you're having like two separate conversations, one on Snapchat and one on text. What are we doing here? FaceTime me.
Or I had
God.
someone block my number so that I would only Snapchat them.
Who?
The first man to ever break my heart. Yeah, but he blocked my number, so I would only Snapchat him.
And you did.
Was he Snapchatting you
Mm-hmm.
after blocking the number? Or were you being like, why'd you block my number?
Well, when he first did it, I was like, why'd you block my number? And he was like, I didn't. And then I was like, yes, you did. And then we didn't talk for like 6 months. And then...
Do you still see him if he's a family friend?
Last time I saw him was last fall. So like a year ago.
Do you plan on seeing him this fall?
I don't know, maybe. I saw his mom a few weeks ago. And his sister.
Hope he's doing okay. Hope he's changed.
I don't know. Still with the girlfriend that we overlapped a little bit.
Wait, this is the same guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Things are making a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
So Panty Riser is Goofballs, Goobers, and Snapchat.
Yeah, I guess it's now Snapchat as well.
the nightmare blunt rotation. So we had a Barbie themed birthday party for Meghan. Not really the point of the story here, but when we were taking pictures, because we had taken pictures for our rebrand, we were taking pictures. I went to I think it was Quinn. I went to hand Quinn my phone, and I just
That thing was a hot potato.
Dropping it like a cartoon character.
I lost control of it 80%. It was like my phone was a stick of butter that was half melted, slide. I cannot literally
Didn't touch the
explain
ground.
It never hit the floor. But
No, it
she
never hit
just
the
could, when you slip on ice, or you see
Yes!
something on ice,
And you're
then,
frozen.
that was your phone in the air.
Yeah,
in
I
your hands.
don't know how that happened, and I keep thinking about it. Every time I pick up my phone, because I was handing it to her in my right hand too, which is my dominant hand. I don't know what happened. I literally couldn't hold it, and then at one point it almost fell to the ground, and then did a jump in the air, and then JoJo stepped in, had to help
She
me
had to
catch
step
it.
in. That's the only reason you're not still here fumbling with your phone.
Yeah,
to this day,
and
a week later.
and the reason why it's not shattered.
Yeah.
I still don't know how that happened, but yeah, it was a very cartoon moment, and I just needed to document that on the pod because I cannot stop thinking about it. How did that happen?
That was so fun.
I wish someone had a video of it. Anyways, you can talk about Toblerone now.
I have something to say about Toblerone.
Okay, let's
The
get
cake
into
with
it.
chocolate?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we were at
Our friend's housewarming.
Yes. And there was a Toblerone bar, and some girl was eating it. And
As
then,
an app,
it was the person's whose apartment warming it was, Toblerone. And I guess one of his friends was eating it, and then it just like stayed out whenever she finished eating it. So then we're just kind of sitting there, we're talking about it, and we're like, oh my God, Toblerone, haven't had that in forever, blah, 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 blah. And then Nikki's like, oh my God, I've never had Toblerone. And then I had
An epiphany.
Have you had a Toblerone?
I have not.
Okay. You don't go and seek out Toblerone. Toblerone seeks you out.
Okay.
It's not one of those and the people around me were agreeing with me when I was saying this.
No, I mean I've never had it before, but I totally believe you.
Everyone was like, oh my God, you're so right. Like, yes, like I've never actually purchased a Toblerone bar. It just finds you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whether it's a gift, whether it's just there, like you just have a bite of it and it's good. It's not like I'm going to go buy it good.
Yeah.
It's a very like good chocolate. It has, I think, nougat in it or whatever. But it's not something you go out and buy. It just comes to you when it's time for you to try a Toblerone.
and you just eat it when it's there.
And you just eat it. And then you're like, okay, it's good.
I feel like our time is coming soon, Taylor.
Yeah. I'm going to
So
buy
you
you
didn't
two
try
Toblerones
any
again.
at the party?
No, they were out by the time.
Public chocolate?
Oh, that's true.
You think I'm eating public chocolate?
But the one girl who was partaking in the public chocolate, she was like, oh my God, you're so right. Like, it was just there at the party. That's how she had her Toblerone.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think by the time that we had kind of like located it, it was empty. It was gone.
But yeah, you just like, you're not seeking it out.
Yeah.
I don't know how it got into that apartment, but it found its way to that girl who's eating the public chocolate.
Oh,
She's just such a goober.
chocolate.
She's such a little goofy goober.
Oh.
Eating her public chocolate.
So yeah, I'm gonna do the buying of the Toblerone,
Okay.
but not to eat because you don't. If you're buying Toblerone, it's not for yourself.
Yeah.
You're giving it to
we're going to have a
someone
special moment, Taylor and
It's
I.
the Toblerone distribution system.
Mm-hmm.
So where does one purchase Toblerone?
They sell it everywhere. Target. It's in the candy aisle.
Is it?
Yes,
Oh.
it's like near the Ferrero Rochers.
I
And we
thought
were
you
saying
could only get it at
Ferrero
airports.
Rochers are similar in the sense where you don't really buy Ferrero Rochers. Someone buys them for you.
That is so true.
You know, it's not something you're like, oh my God, I have a hankering for a Ferrero Rocher. It's
I
like
love
Christmas.
Ferrero
I know.
Rochers.
And it's but you've never purchased it.
Yeah.
I have never purchased
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One time, we went up to JoJo's house. I think it was, I can't remember if it was like Easter or like Christmas or like around some holiday. And she sent us back with like a giant, like holiday size, like tray of them. Every different kind. I think we ate maybe like 4 of them and threw the rest away. Like, I'm not really a Ferrero Rocher girl, but yeah,
No.
we didn't buy them.
Ferrero Rochers, you
They just
eat
showed
them
up.
in a certain order.
Taylor eats them weird.
Do you suck off the chocolate?
Yeah.
Suck it
You
off?
eat the outer. No, you bite it off. You bite the outer, so then it's the inside wafer, and you pop that in your mouth. You suck the wafer off, then you suck the chocolate off.
How do
the
you suck a wafer off?
It's a wafer.
Yeah. It doesn't just like melt like chocolate.
Yes, it does.
Okay, well,
She has
clearly
this down to
not
a
had
science.
one.
So then
You want one? They're in the candy jar.
So then
Oh, yeah.
I'll show you how to eat it after.
Okay.
And then you suck the wafer off, and then you suck the chocolate off the nut, and then you eat the nut.
Nut.
Nut. It tastes so much better. Like how
I believe you. I
Courtney
couldn't
with
do
the Kit Kat, like this is the way I've always eaten it, and I've had trialed and tested, and this is the best way to eat a Ferrero Rocher.
I like eating peanut M&Ms like that.
Oh, same.
That's like my preferred way to do it, but I'm impatient. I can't wait.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree.
But I do love like sucking off the chocolate and getting the nut, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'll eat a Reese's. I really don't eat a Reese's unless it's the shape. But I'll eat like the outside.
That's kind of
I'll like bite the
crazy.
chocolate off the outside. And sometimes I don't even do that. I'll just pick that off, throw that out, just to get to the chocolate and peanut butter of it all.
Really?
That's
eat
why
my
I
Kit
like the
Kats like
shapes.
Courtney. How she like
Mm-hmm.
takes off layer by layer. I eat it like that. It does taste better, to give Courtney
Huh.
Kardashian cred.
Different strokes.
DSDF.
Wow.
Oh, we don't have a clip.
Taylor's TikTok of the week. Taylor's TikTok of the week. She's watching TikToks left and right. It's Taylor's TikTok of the week.
Taylor's TikTok of the week.
We've got a doozy.
Yeah. So this week's TikTok, actually, I didn't find it. Meghan found it and sent it, and
Meghan's version.
so it just needed to be talked about. So I feel like everyone's gonna know about it. But
By now, you have to have seen it. This week, actually Monday, we have to do a things of the week and just post everything we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Including the Steve guy and the Oyster Girl. So this way, by this point, I could just say, go to our Instagram
yeah.
for context.
Oh. Wait, that's a good idea. Like the day we post an episode, like putting all of the clips and stuff there.
Go to our
that's
Instagram
good.
for context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's not up there, it will be soon because I'm listening to this episode right now at work and I'm texting the girls right now. As you are listening to this, I'm listening to this at work and I'm going, guys, I need you to send me everything we talked about this week. I'm putting it up on Instagram, so like, don't worry, it will be up at some point on our Instagram. But yes. So go to our Instagram and watch the Oyster Girl video if you're unaware of what we're talking about. Take it away, Taylor.
So
Yes.
in this video, this girl went on a drink date, which I love myself a drink date.
Classic.
He asked her out for a singular drink. And so they go.
She picked the restaurant purposely.
Did she?
Yes.
I didn't know that part of the story.
That's why what took place because he was like, okay, let's go out for drinks. And she said, yes, okay, great. Let's do here. She took the initiative to go to the place that she wanted to. Because I think in the TikTok, I'm not sure, I have to reference it again, but she was like, we've been talking for a while. I wasn't like super interested, but like I wanted to go on the date, you know?
Taylor coded.
Like I just wanted to like
No,
go on the date. And she's like, if I'm going on a date with someone I'm not super excited about, like I'm going to go somewhere I like.
So she proceeds to order a lemon drop martini, which, great. He gets his one drink, and then she proceeds to order 4 plates of oysters.
48 total.
That is 48 oysters.
And in the video, you can hear her slurping in the video.
Well, but explain like so she was filming the whole thing.
Yeah, film the whole with flash.
With flash.
Imagine how this guy
Insane.
and then you hear her going. Imagine hearing that 48 times.
Everyone just logged off.
Yeah, everyone logged off.
But that's insane. Not only I would have left, but I mean, I can't say that because I had someone spit their food out and I stayed. But
at least he didn't film it.
oh, that I know of.
So she ate her 48 oysters, and then she saved room for dinner.
And she went, so what am I eating next?
So she got, I think like crab cakes and potatoes as a side. Also film those with the flash on. Another lemon drop martini.
You know,
And he just has his one drink.
like this is sorry, I'm kind of interjecting. We had a conversation about bubble tea earlier, and then we were like, fuck, we all kind of like want bubble tea. I really want a lemon drop martini now. I've never had one.
I've never had
Neither.
one either.
But it
I
sounds
think we have to go and get
so
a lemon drop
good.
martini.
I haven't drank in so long. Like it sounds
Once you're off the
so good.
antibiotics,
We're
we're getting the girls together.
We're getting the girls together. We're getting lemon
We're
drop
getting lemon drop
martinis.
We're gonna wear cute little dresses.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go to a fancy little bar
Yeah, we are.
that's gonna have lemon drop martinis, and we're gonna
Hell
eat
yeah.
48 oysters
yeah.
Not me.
They're
with
so
flash.
good.
With flash in a dark
I'll
restaurant.
film you guys.
Okay.
I'll have
With
the flash,
flash.
and I
Going
will not be
off of
oystering.
That there's a girl on TikTok and she has a bowl of martinis and she makes a new martini every day 'cause she's like, I want to become a martini girl. I think we should do something similar.
Yeah. Well, it is winter. We're gonna have to start drinking inside.
I like martinis. I like espresso martinis.
I wish I could have espresso martinis. Like they're so delicious.
I did dirty martini for the first time.
Dirty martini. What's that song?
I'm in a
martini,
dirty martini.
Then flipping
But
these
it was-
birds.
I became a Belford.
Like I wish I was martini girl because I feel like it's so classy to be like, Can I get a dirty martini?
It's
Or-
like Samantha
They
Jones.
have to make it so right, though, or then it either tastes like too vodka-y or too salty.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I made us pickle martinis, and it was probably the worst thing I've ever tasted in my entire life.
It was the most disgusting thing ever. No, I love you so much. That was the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted in my life. I'm so
It was
sorry.
disgusting. I
Yeah.
couldn't drink it.
I think that the martini is so
Overrated?
no,
Oh.
like people who like them really like them, and they're very specific. Like I'll have like a vodka martini, 3 olives, you know, like they get very specific.
Shaken, not stirred.
Exactly. Like I don't know what the
dry,
fuck.
Like
extra
yes.
dry.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
More vermouth.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's vermouth?
But also like be normal.
Oh.
Vermouth is the equivalent to me of you going no classic at Starbucks.
But also, like, vermouth, I just learned this. You're not supposed to put it in the drink. You're supposed to put it in the glass around the
Afterwards,
glass.
let it swirl around.
Swirl around the glass, then pour it out. And then you pour the martini in. I don't know.
You should try that with classic syrup at Starbucks.
Yeah.
No.
No classic for me.
Yeah,
I did have to put classic in my coffee last week at the bagel place.
I'm so sorry for you, Taylor.
You know how much she hates classic.
Yeah.
The coffee just wasn't hitting.
I just feel like martinis are so complex and I don't know anything about them. And I don't even think I want to be a martini girl, but it would be nice to like know.
Yeah.
It would be nice to know anything about wine. Am I ever
say
going to be a
that
wine
all the
girl?
time.
Like no.
Like, I wish I knew things about wine. Like I
Like, I
wish
just
I
wanna
was a
be
little
able
bit
to,
of a
like,
sommelier.
Order it a little bit properly, and everyone's like, "Oh my god,
She
what
knows
she's
about
talking
wine.
about."
Mhm.
Where I'm just like, I'll have the Pinot Grigio.
I'm like, give me the fruitiest thing you have on the
I'm
menu.
like,
a
what's your
rosé.
sweetest wine?
Sweetest, sugariest. What's
What's gonna give me a
the
cavity?
worst hangover ever? Yeah,
Or
literally.
the worst is when you're like, oh, I'll have a rosé, and they're like, well, which one? I'm like, the cheapest.
Pick. I don't know.
The cheapest one.
Yeah.
Dealer's choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst. After we just lost the plot for a little bit.
Anyways,
Back
so the
to
oyster
Oh,
girl.
lemon drop martini.
Back to
So
her.
she
yeah.
ordered another lemon drop martini. She ordered a crab cake.
extra
sampler.
butter for her potatoes, which also filmed pouring butter on those with flash, naturally.
And he is rocking with his one drink. And then
No food.
No food. He
Oh my
finished his
God.
drink and he said, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom." She said, "Okay, knock yourself out. I'm gonna
have a great time. I'm finishing my crab
eating
cakes.
my crab cakes."
He never came back.
And then she like made the TikTok and like complained about him leaving
And sticking her with the bill.
and sticking her with the bill. And then
It
she
was a
posted
What
it.
does she
200
look like?
I think
I don't know.
Does she look like sane?
we'll have to find her page on TikTok, but
But it was a $200 bill.
so she posted it on TikTok looking for sympathy to be like, "Look at this jerk," and everyone in the
Oh my
comments was on the
God.
guy's side.
Yeah.
Because also at the end of the TikTok, it was her texting him and she was like, "That wasn't cool of you." And he answered and he was like, "I'll Venmo you for the drinks or whatever." But he's like, "I only agreed to take you out for drinks. I wasn't agreeing for all that."
Oh my god.
So he's like, "I'll Venmo you for whatever I owe you for the drinks that I said I'd buy you." And he goes, "But I'm not paying for the 48 oysters and your crab cake dinner."
Again, does this girl live in New York? Dating in New York is so scary.
No, I think it was somewhere down south. But also,
Ugh.
in New York, there's so many bars, especially in the city, that don't serve food.
Yeah.
So when you're going on a drink date, it's really easy to know it's a drink date.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think she was in New York because I don't think that's as common
No,
other
I think
places.
it's down south. I
Yeah.
remember.
Bars where like it's just a bar, there's no food involved. I don't think that's
Yeah.
as common in places that aren't New York.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But it's like, on one hand, I'm like, yeah, the guy, like, who I would never even think of doing that to someone. But on the other hand, I'm like, you know what? Like, props to her. Like, go queen.
I mean, I think she just wanted to like go to dinner
Yeah.
and like enjoy herself at a nice restaurant and maybe just didn't want to go alone. That's what
That's
it's
why
seeming
she
like.
picked the restaurant. I think in the TikTok
Yeah.
she said it's one of her favorite restaurants. She just wanted
Yeah.
an excuse to go to her favorite
No,
restaurant.
that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking.
and she picked that restaurant because of the oysters.
Yeah.
She had
Which-
every intention of getting oysters.
Yeah, which, I mean, if she was like, I'm ordering food, like, I'm getting food, like, then I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we're missing a piece of the story.
I feel like we are too, but this kind of does reflect your date where you didn't want to order food and he did.
Mm-hmm.
So can you imagine if he started like
oysters.
Yeah, but he also paid.
I think it is different if like you were on a date as a woman with a guy, and let's just say you were assuming the guy was paying and he's ordering like a bunch of food, then it's like, okay, whatever, I'll just stick it out for this. But as a guy,
yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's like you don't know his like, you know, bank situation or anything, and the bill was $200 and he was probably expecting to spend maybe like $50 to $75 on just like a few drinks kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then she went forward with ordering like all seafood. Seafood's one of the most expensive things to order at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And lemon drop martinis, probably $15 a pop.
At least.
Because oysters don't even have the price on the menu. It'll just be like market price. So whatever like it was.
Wow.
So say oysters can go for $12 for a dozen, but they can also be $22 for a dozen.
Wow.
It just kind of depends on what the
How
market.
can you eat that many oysters?
That's
And then a full dinner?
That's the thing that really like
That's the thing that's throwing everyone off, is the fact that she ate the 48 oysters and then went forward with getting a full dinner afterwards. And 3 lemon drop martinis.
Yeah.
I don't think I could get half an oyster down my throat.
No, I've oysters I've had. I like oysters, but if it was raw clams, I could definitely like fuck up 20 clams.
48?
Not 48, but definitely like
20 cut off.
Just
Oh, all right.
But
Moving
on
on.
a date?
oh, I'd never do it on a date. It would have unless it was like an established date, like they've already said I've loved you, like I've farted in front of them, like that is when I'm slurping down.
It's like 5 years into a relationship
Yeah.
when I have farted in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think in this story I have to be team guy that walked out.
Oh,
because
for sure.
You know,
I honestly,
she went into it being like, I wasn't really feeling him. So, like, he had
Yeah.
every right to be like, I'm not feeling this, and she's racked up this bill. I can't afford it.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
gotta
I
go.
would have the guts to leave.
I would never have the guts to leave.
Oh no.
I wish
But
I
also, that
would.
could be just like a woman thing.
Uh-huh.
Whereas, like, I feel like you always hear stories of, like, guys leaving in the middle of dates, and I'm sure girls have done it, but, like,
But a
you
guy
hear way
gets-
more often of guys leaving in the middle of a date than a girl.
I mean,
Yeah.
like on my date, after I went to the bathroom, I was like, oh, look at the time. Like, it's getting so late. But I went back to the table, but I also was like, he's paying. Like, I knew he was paying.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why men leave, because they don't want to get stuck with the bill.
Maybe. Well, I can't blame him. It was a $200 bill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I don't blame
insane.
him. I don't blame him.
And she couldn't have even been like, all right, well, then pay for half. He had one drink.
Oh my god. She had 48 oysters.
48 oysters, 3 lemon drop martinis.
And a crab cake dinner.
And then in the TikTok, she was like, ugh, and I had to pay for his drink. Girl, you could have eaten.
an extra $15 on your $200 bill.
Maybe
Yeah.
just stick with maybe 20 oysters next time you're going on a date.
Is that like a normal amount?
No, usually like 2 people share a dozen.
Okay. Holy shit.
Because I sent like a guy analyzing her original TikTok. I'll have to see if her original TikTok's still up. But in the video, it's her like every time she finishes a tray, she's stacking it on top of the other. With Flash in the restaurant, the guy's right there.
Oh my god. Well, the thing is like if she's filming everything, you know they're not talking.
Yeah.
So like
I think the issue also was the date was just starting off on the wrong foot with her being like,
Well, was
I
she
was
an
just, like,
influencer? Like,
I
why
have
was
no-
she
like-
filming?
I've never seen her page. I'd have to see if she's like filmed anything
Yeah.
before, and this just was her big break.
yeah, maybe she's like got like a weird niche on the internet.
Maybe. Oh God, it should be us.
Should be us.
It should be.
Yeah.
I gotta start ordering something freaky at a restaurant to make a guy leave.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Is that on that?
I think so. Go team man. We are never team man, but in this instance,
The 0.01% of the time that we are team man, it's right now.
He did the right thing.
We are team man for this guy, team man for Steve Brady.
yeah.
End of story.
So I think to leave off, I have many thoughts. and they are on the movie Dear John, which is based off of the novel.
Dear John?
Yeah, I can't think of the author.
Nicholas Sparks.
Nicholas
Noah
Sparks.
Noah Sparks. Jordan Sparks?
I could not think of his.
With the novel that's
no air.
the novel by Nicholas Sparks based on the song by Taylor Swift? Question mark.
I think
that
the
was a
song
joke.
came out after.
That was a joke.
I know, but now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
You got her thinking.
Oh, yeah, I did get you.
So I
You
have
got
some
that.
thoughts.
Got the wheels turning.
So I
Mhm.
was watching it the other day, and I know you two have never seen it. So
Mhm.
I don't want to spoil it, but it's also been out for over 10 years.
I'm probably never going to watch the movie if we're being, like, completely honest
So
with each other
I'll
here.
watch it if you want me to.
Well, maybe you can share some of my thoughts.
It's talking about twinning them.
Cha-cha.
Amanda Seyfried.
You
You told me I look like her. That blonde lady.
Amanda
yeah, I know
Seyfried.
who
Yeah.
Amanda Seyfried
Oh, then why'd
is.
you go like that?
Because what did you just say?
Me
My
and my
twin
twin
in
in 'em.
My twinning them's in the movie.
Best
yeah,
friend.
what the fuck is that?
My twinning them.
It's a song.
My twinning them.
That I clearly don't know
My twinning them.
because I went like this.
Well, I thought you were saying it to Taylor about the movie Dear John.
Okay, so anyway, so I'll give a little
No,
synopsis.
no. What did you say?
My twinning
Me
them.
and my twin in 'em. Her
What
and
is
Amanda
that?
Seyfried. It's a song. Like, me and my twin in 'em go best friend. It's like you and your twin.
My twinning them.
So Amanda Seyfried's her twin. Moving along. That's not the point.
Taylor's getting antsy. She's been sitting on this for weeks.
This has been in our running pod topic list for
Since
weeks.
Taylor watched it like a month ago.
Well, I just said I just watched it the other day. So
It's been a while.
Taylor, it was like a month ago.
I know. I was trying to.
Okay, get into it.
Okay, so a brief synopsis of the movie. So Amanda Seyfried is
Who's John?
Channing Tatum.
I'm not interested in this anymore. I'm not interested.
Well, I don't think you'd be interested in it anyway. So Amanda Seyfried. So
Isn't he like lost at war? Can I tell you what I think the movie's about?
oh, okay.
Okay, so it's Amanda Seyfried
Mm-hmm.
and Channing Tatum,
Mhm.
and they're like a fun little. No, they're not a couple.
Mm.
They're not. Okay, and they're like hanging out. Da 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 da. No, they're not hanging out. Okay,
Chills.
okay, I'm starting over. Amanda Seyfried's living here.
Mm-hmm.
Channing Tatum is in war.
Mm-hmm.
He is fighting for his life.
Mm.
Whatever. He writes someone a letter.
Mm-hmm.
The letter accidentally gets delivered to Amanda Seyfried, and she's
Mm.
like, "Oh my God, who is this man? I think I love him." I think I'm just doing the letters to Juliet.
I thought you were doing Lucky Ones with Zac Efron.
Oh my God, I've never seen any of these movies.
I haven't either.
Okay, so then she gets the letter from
Mhm.
Channing Tatum and is like, "Oh my God, I love him, but I don't know him."
Mm.
And then she writes back and she's like, "Dear John, like I got your letter. Like it's not for me, but I love you." And he gets in, he's like,
Ooh.
"Oh my God, Amanda Seyfried, I love you too. Love John."
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets the letter back, and then she writes him another letter, and he keeps these letters with him.
Mhm.
And then something terrible happens to John.
He dies in war.
No,
Sorry.
he gets injured, and then he gets a
Interrupted you.
terrible case of amnesia.
Ooh.
And then
That's the vow with Channing Tatum.
I'm not done. And then they can't figure out who he is. He's John Doe now.
Oh.
They're like, "Who is this man?" And they're like, "Oh my God, this is his wife. This is who's been writing him the letters." And then he gets discharged home to Mrs. Amanda Seyfried, and she's like, "Oh my God, I don't know him, but I love him."
Mm.
He gets goobered.
He gets goobered all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wakes up and he's like, "Oh my God, I love you." And she's like, "Oh my God, I love you too, John. Like,
Mm.
like dear John, we found each other."
Mm-hmm. You are so wrong.
Wait, can I give mine?
Yeah,
sure.
okay. What do you think the movie Dear John's about?
Okay. Are there any other like relevant characters in the movie?
No, mainly them.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna let you cook.
Okay, let me cook. I think they're high school sweethearts. I think they're madly, madly in love.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got like a good head on her shoulders. She really knows what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And she has, you know, her career and whatever. And he's like kind of conflicted and doesn't really know. So he goes and joins the army and like he was maybe like only supposed to be gone like 2 years or something. But
He's pulling him back in.
yeah, he just feels a sense of purpose, and he keeps going back. He keeps staying longer because his country needs him. So she gets really lonely, and she starts writing him letters. Dear John, XOXO,
Amanda Seyfried.
And then, yeah, he, does he respond? Maybe a bit.
Okay.
Maybe a bit. And then I think that she writes him a letter, and it gets sent back with that deceased stamp on it or something like that. And she's
I'd
like,
watch this movie.
and she's like, oh my God, he died. But then she calls like his commander, and he's like, who's John?
Who's John?
Who's John? Like, who? I don't know this person. Like, who are you talking about? And he lied the entire time. I haven't figured out yet what he's doing across the pond or wherever he is. But, yeah.
Wherever his country needs him.
That's my synopsis.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Okay, so...
But those were
But who's
great
closer?
movies. Should I just let you know, and then we can decide that at the end? Because
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
there are little
Vote
bits
down below.
yeah, there are little bits and pieces that are like the same. So the synopsis of the movie. So starts off in Charleston. So it's based in Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
So you find this out later, but Channing Tatum's character, John, is a local to Charleston. And his dad is obsessed with coins.
You didn't say the dad was a main character.
He's really not. And we come to find out he's a little on the spectrum.
John Sr.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that comes into play later in the movie. So
far, we're starting with Outer Banks season 1.
basically. So Amanda Seyfried's character comes from a very rich family, and they have a summer house in Charleston,
Okay.
but they live somewhere else in
Okay.
South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Nantucket.
Isn't that in Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Yes. So they live somewhere else. They live like
In Nantucket.
on a ranch or like
In
on
Nantucket.
a farm
Mm-hmm.
In Nantucket.
somewhere. But they have this like huge mansion, like old money.
In Nantucket.
Yeah. So her and her friends are on spring break.
In Nantucket.
Spring break.
Charleston.
Spring break.
So they're on the boardwalk, and John is just there. Like, he had just gone surfing, and he's just like hanging out on the boardwalk, and they're all like there. And the kid who we learned has a crush on Amanda Seyfried's character.
So you didn't say there were any other characters in this movie?
Well, they weren't important.
What's Amanda Seyfried's character's name?
Amanda Seyfried.
I want to say it's Claire, but I think I'm wrong.
That's fine.
Mary Sue.
Sure. And so
Mary Sue Claire.
Mary
Amanda
Sue Claire
Seyfried's
from Nantucket.
character, the one who has a crush on her, he knocks her bag into the ocean. And she's like, oh my God, my purse, oh no. And he's like, don't worry, I'll go down and get it. And he runs down because they're on like a platform boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
And boardwalk. John just jumps right in. Like, it was like a 20-foot drop. He drops in, gets the bag, swims back up, and she's like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, come back. Like, we're having a bonfire. Like, come back. Like, let me thank you. Like, let me get you a beer. So then they're chatting, blah, blah, blah. They have this magical night. Not sexy stuff, but they just have a magical night. So then they're like, oh, let's keep chatting. So then she's on spring break, and she finds out, is on leave for the army for 2 weeks.
We got that right.
Yeah. So he is in the army. And so
Wait. Why did we both say the army?
because I think that's known.
No, I don't know anything. I didn't even know who was in it.
Oh. Well,
But I just had a gut feeling he was in the army too. I
was-
think it's his look. I
Channing
think it's his
Tatum
look.
has a face made for the army.
yeah. It's so
Not Magic Mike.
No.
Not Magic
He
Mike.
has a face made for army.
For army.
his job is army.
Yes.
So he was in the
Episode
army.
title: Face Made for Army.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
he's on leave. She's on spring break. So then she's like, well, like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, so what are you doing on spring break? Like, where are you going? And she's like, no, we're here. And he's like, I see that, but you like your friends are out at the beach and you don't come until later. And she's like, well, I'm helping. She's like, I come here every summer. Like this town, this like local family, their house burnt down, and I'm helping them rebuild it. So then he spends.
You're gonna have to start speeding up your. Cause
Yeah.
we're not even near your thoughts yet.
Yeah.
So
I think
then
we can like speed up the
Taylor's
synopsis.
giving us a play-by-play instead of a synopsis of the movie.
Give a
Okay,
synopsis
so then-
of the movie and then get into your thoughts about
So
it.
well, kind of my synopsis and my thoughts are gonna intertwine.
Okay.
So then he helps build this house with her. And then they're like, let's go on a date. She's like, oh my God, let's go to my favorite place. Like, it has the best seafood.
She gets
We're gonna
48
48
oysters.
And the guy was like, John, you're not allowed in. And then he was like, come on, I've changed. And so then they get let in, and she's like, why were they not going to let you in? And he's like, they're afraid of me. And she goes, why? And he's like, well, they're afraid of who I was. He's like, the army
Whoa.
really straightened me out. And so then they're having these she meets his dad, and then she brings up, because then he meets her neighbor, who is from Charleston, lives there full time.
Seems like there are a lot of other characters in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Tim is the neighbor, and he has a son, and the son is severely autistic.
Tim Jr.
Yeah.
Yes. Alan.
Tim Jr.
And she she met the dad, and he's obsessed with coins, and she was very good. She was like, he was like, Dad, stop. She doesn't want to see your coins. And she's like, no, let me see the coins. And then she comes every day of the week, like, you know what he's having for dinner. And she comes, and they have these whatever. And so right before she leaves, she's like, I think I'm going to change my major, and I'm going to
go to the army,
into special education, like help people with
Major in
autism.
army.
And she was like, well, I grew up with Alan, and I mean, spending these last few weeks with your dad. And he was like, well, what do you mean, my dad? And she goes, like, blah, blah, blah. So then they get into this huge blowout fight.
Uh-oh.
And they've only known each other for a week at this point.
Like a week and a half.
He
But
said he's on 2-week leave from army.
Yeah.
No, but one week at the beach at Charleston is like 6 months in the
Yeah,
real world.
Changes your life.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole. So then they get into this huge blowout fight, and then she's like not there when he goes to apologize. So then the neighbor was there, and he's like, I think she's getting ready to leave and go back to school. And he's like, oh, I need to find her. And the neighbor was like, here, like, so on a receipt he wrote
Her address in Nantucket.
he wrote her a letter, like, I'm so sorry, blah 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 blah. And so on
He wrote her a letter?
yeah
On a receipt?
yeah
But that's not Dear John. That's Dear
That's Dear
Claire.
Amanda Seyfried.
That's
So-
Dear Mary Sue Claire.
so then she shows up, they make up, and then
And make out.
yeah, basically.
Hell
and
yeah.
then, And then he's like, well, my dad, it's Sunday, he made lasagna. And she's like, well, I can only stay for an hour. I need to get back to school, but I'll stay. And then as they were leaving, she went, you wrote me one letter. Here's yours.
Dear John.
Yeah. And so then they leave.
Did
and
the letter say you're an expert at sorry?
No,
And
but
keeping the lines blurry?
mm-mm,
Never impressed by me acing your test?
No.
All the girls let you run dry?
mm-mm. But she was basically, the letter back and forth to each other was like, we've had this magical 2 weeks. Like, how could we not? Blah, 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 whatever. So
But what about the real world?
they had only known each other because he was then getting shipped off on a deployment for a year. And so she was like, how could we have these magical 2 weeks and not wait a year? Like, so she was like, she was fully ready to wait a year. So she was like, write me whatever you can tell me, like, write it all down. So that's what they agreed. He goes on to a deployment, and she goes, and she's, throughout the time that he's gone, they're writing these letters. He's overseas and he's in the army. And she's going back and forth between her school and, like, she visits his dad and the arm, blah, 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 whatever. So then it's gearing up to, so that's my first thought, is that they,
Hillary, an hour in, you have to hurry up.
so my first thought, they only knew each other for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And then they didn't see each other again for a year later.
Well, it's like how the whole plot of Mamma Mia takes place in 48 hours.
That is so true.
That always trips me up.
But yeah, 2 weeks and then a year later, and the only communication is through letters that sometimes come and sometimes don't. So that's my first thought.
Oh, you guys are John and Mary Sue Claire.
So then 9/11 happens.
Like the actual 9/11?
Yes.
Oh.
So then what the fuck? So then
Oh my god.
everyone is like, well, Sarge, we're re-enlisting. We're extending our deployment.
I got that right.
Yeah. And
He just
the sergeant is like, let's take the weekend. We'll think about it. And then on Monday morning, if every single one of you want to extend, like, we'll extend. And so everyone was like, let's go to Paris, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, and he's like, no, I need to go to Charleston. Like, I need to see her.
For a weekend?
For 18 hours.
From where? Where was he? In the army?
We'd never know.
That's like all of the flight time. If they were going to Paris for the weekend.
No, he was in Charleston for 18 hours before he had to leave again.
Oh, he's already there.
No, by the time he flew
Where was he
back,
when 9/11 happened?
Germany.
Okay.
And then he had to fly to Charleston
Yeah.
and fly back within an 18-hour time span?
During 9/11?
No, from like a Friday to...
He was on a flight during 9/11?
Who was flying during 9/11?
That's crazy.
I don't think anyone
So
was.
he
I know
had
I
to
was
be back
3, but-
Monday morning.
Did John do 9/11?
I don't know.
Shit.
So he had to be back Monday morning back in Germany. So they were going to Paris for the weekend. He's like, no, I need to see her. And everyone was like, dude, you're only going to see her for 18 hours. And he's like, well, I haven't seen her in a year, and I don't know when the next time I'm going to see her is.
Oh my god.
So he flies home. They do this whole big, like, oh my God, like welcoming home. And they pull up to the house, and they're having this big old party. And everyone was like, John, like, thank you so much for your service. Are you going to re-enlist? Blah, blah, blah. And everyone was like, you can't re-enlist. And he's like, I'm going to do whatever's best for my country. And at this
Grow up.
And at this
He was
point,
like, 9/11 just happened.
the kid who had a crush on Amanda Seyfried's character was there, and he's like, you guys are friends? And she's like, yeah, like, we're friends still. Like, his family's friends with my family, blah, blah, blah. And so he was pressed about that. And then she found out that he was thinking about extending his leave.
Stay.
And then she was like, I can't believe you do this without talking about it. And he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, tell me what to do. Blah, blah, blah. Then they fuck in a barn.
Okay.
Romantic.
And then she goes back.
On 9/12?
Yeah. Well, around then. And then
9/12,
he goes back to
2001?
Germany, and because she's like, we can do this. We can do this. We've done it for a year. What's a year more? So then they're continuing to write these letters, and then they come few and few from her. And then he gets a letter, and she's engaged to someone else. And she's breaking it off. And he, like, is like, oh, I'm so mad, like, blah, blah, blah. And his friend's like, no, like, maybe you can call her, blah, blah, blah. And
That's
he's
your
like,
fault for re-enlisting after
and
9/11.
he's like, no, she's already engaged to some guy, and he thinks it's the guy that had a crush on her, the family friend.
Who is it?
Turns out it was the neighbor who's old, with the autistic son, because he's dying. And
She's marrying him for money?
no,
to take care of his son?
yeah.
Ugh,
Wait,
do it for
what?
money.
So he's dying.
This is a main character you left out. The neighbor and the autistic son? When we were asking for more characters?
Wait, so she's married.
She married the neighbor, the older
the old
neighbor
guy, so that she could take care of his son when he died.
Yes. And he didn't die for like almost 12 years.
Why?
And he was in the army, and then they reconnect because his dad dies, and he comes home for the funeral. He gets shot in between.
I got that right.
And so he goes home for the funeral, and then he drives over to her, and she's like, oh, why are you back? Like, how's your dad? And he's just like, and she's like, oh my God.
Does she have any other kids?
No.
Or just the autistic
Just
stepson?
the autistic stepson. And then he goes, so how's life, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, you know, it's fine. It's great. Like, blah, 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 whatever. And then he goes, she's like, let's come in. Like, I'll get you water or something. And then he sees the wedding photo of her and Tim. And he goes, Tim? You married Tim? And then she was like, and he's like, I can't believe you married Tim, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes and speaks to Tim because Tim is in like a hospice place. And I'm sorry.
You have to hurry up.
So he's in
We're
hospice.
going on 10 minutes of your synopsis.
He's in hospice. And he's like, I'm sorry, but I love her. And which is weird because she was in college and he was fully like almost 40 with a
Also, like,
son.
did she move to Charleston full time now? Like,
No, they moved
She left
to
Nantucket?
They moved to their parents. She moved into her parents, and her parents sold the Charleston house, and they were somewhere else. I don't know where. Probably. And they were, right. She was running a camp for special needs kids with horses. Like that, a type of camp like that. Mm-hmm. And she was like, it only ran.
Special needs kids with horses? It sounds like every special needs kid at the camp needs to have a horse.
Yeah, they like, it was like horse therapy. Camp
for kids with horses. For kids with horses.
It's a camp that had horses that was designed for kids with special needs.
Yes.
The special needs kids didn't have to have a horse to pre-qualify to join the camp.
It was horse therapy. And she's like, and he was like, this was always your dream. And she's like, yeah, it ran for a year and then we ran out of money. And then, so he's talking and then Tim is like, I bet you want to beat me up. And he's like, I just don't understand. Like, I loved her. And he's like, I love her too. And she's so good with Alan, and I needed someone. My wife left me, and she didn't want to take responsibility for him, and I just needed someone. In my head, I'm like, you could have written that in the will. You didn't need to fucking marry her. Could have been like, made her guardian.
Mm-hmm. Well, what if she didn't want it unless she was married?
I don't think.
Why would you just give someone your kid?
Like, did they love each other, or did they just get married so they could?
He loved her. She loved John.
Well, she's stupid.
And because then her and John went to dinner, and she's like, and he's like, why couldn't you just, and she's like, if I had called you, like, because he's like, why couldn't you tell me in person? She's like, I tried to call you, and every time I knew I'd change my mind if I heard your voice. So she wasn't over him.
Maybe that's a sign you're not making a right decision.
Yeah.
And she's like, but I had to do it for Tim and Alan, and I had to do it, and she blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you just fucked it over. And then so he sells his dad's coin collection so that so Tim can live the rest of his life in the home with his family and out of hospice. And so then like it ends and he died and John is out of the army and they like see each other accidentally, and then that's how it ends. But I have like, so basically they spend
You have
I know
1 minute.
So basically they spend 2 full weeks together. Mm-hmm. They don't see each other for a year.
Mm-hmm.
They have a night together where they sleep together.
Mm-hmm.
Then she breaks up with him to marry this other dude.
Mm-hmm.
12 years later, they reconnect.
12 years.
Yeah.
That's
like,
crazy.
Insane. They fucked once and they spent 2 weeks together.
Girl after my own heart.
A girl after my own heart.
I've been her.
But also,
I am her.
I get so mad because I'm like, she didn't have to marry Tim. She could have been like, Tim, like, I totally understand. Like, I will take responsibility of Alan. Put it in your fucking will.
Mm-hmm.
She did not have to marry him.
That's
Wait,
a
so
weird
the dad's
thing
name was
to do.
Tim and the son's name was Alan?
Yeah.
Tim Allen, like the voice actor for Buzz Lightyear?
Maybe.
Is he the guy
Tim
with
Allen?
that crazy smile?
Tim Allen?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy smile.
Doesn't he kind of look like a chipmunk?
No. Buzz Lightyear? I don't think so. But yeah, so those are my thoughts.
Tim Allen,
Yeah.
not Buzz Lightyear. Is that the crazy smile you're
No, wait. Like that.
Okay. The
It's
Santa
not a crazy
Claus.
smile. He
I
just
don't
looks
know.
like he's got a fresh set of veneers.
When I think of him, I just think of his crazy smile.
Like, what do you mean?
He's got some big ass teeth.
I just need some photos of Tim Allen. That's gonna be in the Instagram. Go to our Instagram. Like, what do you mean? He just got a crazy smile. Okay, we have to end the episode.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
thanks-
basically the
Thanks for
synopsis.
watching. Taylor. You're cut off.
You're done. We were at an hour and 10 minutes.
20 minutes of this has just been your Dear John synopsis.
We should have just watched the trailer.
We should have just watched the movie at that point. I feel like
Well, now you don't need to. And
Okay,
you
great.
can agree with me that
Fucked up
she
movie.
didn't need to marry him.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. All of our socials are linked down below. If you're on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And rate us 5 stars on every podcast platform you're listening on. Love you so much. It hurts. Couldn't love you more if we tried.
Bye.
Bye.
Over and out.
Mwah.